Hey there, I'm Eric Nelson from Hayes Brake, and we're going to show you the new mineral oil bleed kit. This kit was designed for our brake called the Radar. It can also be used with any other mineral oil brake that we produce in the future. Let's get started. For safety materials, we have safety glasses, rubber gloves, and rags to clean up any spills. For tools, we have 5mm, 4mm Allens, T25, T10 Torx drivers, and a 10mm box wrench. Hayes also makes a tool called the feeler gauge, which helps in this process. For the Hayes Venom dual syringe bleed kit, it includes 2 syringes, quick connectors, bleed fittings, bleeder block, assembly lube, and 2-ounce Hayes Venom mineral oil. The pin lube included in this syringe system is for attaching the adapter and the bleeder onto the tube. You start with one section of tube and you place 2 silver bushings on. Use a small amount of pin lube to lubricate the plunger on the syringe. Reinsert the plungers and attach the tubes. Fill each syringe half full of venom, then purge the air from both syringes. Before opening the system, be sure to remove the pads to prevent any fluid from contaminating them during the bleed process. Take a 10mm box wrench, retract the caliper pistons, and put in a bleeder block. For this example, we're bleeding the brakes on a bench using a bike stand and a bare handlebar. Before opening the system, position the caliper and master cylinder at the same height. Remove the bleeder port screw from the caliper. Quickly attach a bleed fitting connected to a syringe. Once the bleeder is finger tight, snug down with the pliers, allowing you to tighten just beyond finger tight. Turn the master cylinder so the bleeder port is in the utmost position. The handlebar is about 10 degrees down from level. Remove the bleeder port screw on the master cylinder and attach the syringe to the master cylinder in the same fashion as the caliper syringe. There could be a small amount of air inside both bleed fittings or introduced while attaching the syringes. Therefore, to remove this initial air, pull a small vacuum from each syringe. Give 1 full cycle between the master cylinder and the caliper. You should end this cycle with the master cylinder syringe at only 1/4 full. Turn the master cylinder 180 degrees upside down so that the bleeder port is now facing the ground. You should be sure to keep the syringe upright to prevent any air from entering the master cylinder. Actuate the lever 3 times while it's in the upside down position. Begin pushing fluid from the caliper towards the master cylinder. Once the fluid starts to pass through, simultaneously begin turning the master cylinder back to the upright position. When the caliper syringe is depleted of mineral oil, push the fluid from the master cylinder back down to the caliper syringe, ensuring the highest point on the caliper is at the bleeder port. Repeat this process until the caliper and master cylinder stop producing bubbles. To ensure there is no air in the system, pull a vacuum from each syringe, one at a time. Start with the caliper, push down on the syringe with a very slight amount of pressure to create a positive pressure in the system. Remove the bleed fitting with the syringe attached and replace the bleeder port screw. Excess mineral oil will bubble out of the caliper until the pressure inside the system is neutral. Snug down the bleeder port screw at 13 inch-pounds or 1.4 Newton meters. Repeat the syringe removal process with the master cylinder. Check your work by applying lever pressure with the bleed block intact. Use a diluted solution of soap and water to clean the system. Clean the rotor with isopropyl, replace the pads, and reattach the caliper. The caliper mounting bolt can be attached at a torque of 80 inch-pounds or 9 Newton meters. The brake master cylinder can then be reattached to the bike at a clamp torque of 30 inch-pounds or 5 Newton meters. If you are also replacing the rotor, don't forget to tighten the rotor mounting bolts with a T25 and a star pattern at 50 inch-pounds or 5.6 Newton meters. As an added note, if you did replace your pads with brand new ones, be sure to burnish them with 30 to 50 hard stops. All right, thanks for watching. Shred it hard out there, tread it safe.